All right, here we go. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Wow, love to see so many people joining our webinar. There are names I recognize. Celia Edmonds, I recognize. Elise, hello. Lots of new faces. Good afternoon, Sindiswa. She's from Let's See. Hello. And Rose. Wendy from Bright Sparks and Peter Maritzburg. Mpumelelo from Penreach. Good afternoon. Ruth. Hello, Ruth. There's someone from Cotlands. Good afternoon. Wow. Marcia from Little Flowers Daycare. Listen, I always enjoy the beautiful names that you give your ECD centers. Can I just say, ECD centers have the best names. Hanali is from Everrise Edu in Centurion. Hello, Hanali. And Sifiso from Pietermaritzburg, Sweetwaters. Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you've joined us. I have lined up for you two incredible guests. We are going to discuss a really great topic today. If you are already cringing because you think, oh, parent engagement, isn't that just hard work? I promise you,
Mhm.
by the end of this hour, you're going to get excited, you're going to get inspired, and you're going to leave with practical tips and tools that will help you take on parent engagement in a fun way, in a way that really makes sense for your center. All right, let me check. I'm sharing my screen. Let's see. Let me double check all the technology. Great. So just to get us going, I wanted to say good afternoon and welcome again, everyone. My name is Helene. I am the marketing manager for Grow ECD. And I guess the question is, what if you could turn your parents into your biggest ambassadors? What if you could
Mhm.
get parents actively involved in their child's learning journey? So today we're discussing parent engagement strategies for ECD centers, and I'm joined by two incredible center owners who have a lot of experience in running centers effectively. They've paid the school fees, they've learned the hard way, and they are here to tell us and share with us valuable tips, ideas, and tools. So together we are going to share their wisdom. My two guests today are Pride Similani. She's from Pulset Kids Academy. That's in Atteridgeville, Pretoria, right, Pride? Is that where you?
That's correct.
Excellent. Thank you, Pride. And Lebogang is from Graceland Daycare. Lebogang, where's your center?
We are based in Pretoria and Soweto.
Soweto. Fantastic. So, good afternoon, ladies, but welcome. And thank you very much for sharing your valuable time. I know your centers are very busy, and we really appreciate you taking the time to share your wisdom with us. So, ladies and gentlemen, feel free to use the chat section if you want to ask any questions, or maybe you have some ideas and comments. We are here to learn from each other. We are here to share our ideas. So please use the comment section, the chat section, to share your ideas and your comments. And know that we're recording this so that you can also watch it again later. But have your cup of tea ready, have your notebook ready, because I'm sure that you will be learning some top tips today. So we will be covering parent engagement. We'll discuss six very practical tools and things that you can do. And we're going to look especially at a section around father involvement at your ECD center. And finally, we'll end off with a little nugget around dealing with complaints and problems effectively. And we'll wrap up the webinar by the end of this hour, where I share more information about how else Grow ECD can help your center. All right.
Mhm.
So let's start off with you, Lebo. I would really
Mhm.
love to hear your perspective. When I say parent engagement, what does that mean for you? What do you think it is?
Um, I think for me, there's two different aspects to it where we talk about parent involvement and parent engagement. And many a times we use those words interchangeably. So involvement is where the center will lead in terms of what needs to happen. This is where we are going. And like GPS, it will tell you 10 right, 10 left. Or else, when you speak about engagement, you would be more concerned about can we do this in collaboration with the parents? Um, do your surveys so that you can do a reflective moment and also give feedback in terms of the feedback that you got from them and what are the things that they can then be able to, because it's important to rope in parents, especially fathers. But I know we're going to touch on that later on. But for me, they play a vital role in making sure that engagement is not just a one-way street, but it's the
Yes,
parents and the school, so that we can
yes.
ensure that the child at that time, it's a triangle. So at the top, it could be the child, at the bottom, the school, then the parents.
That's beautifully said. I think that triangle is such a beautiful metaphor for it. Lebo, I think maybe you pressed a button that's now using the other side of your camera. We can't see your face. We'll continue in the meanwhile. I think you've summarized it so beautifully when you explained the triangle and that it's a two-way street. It's not just about sending information to the parent and expecting them to take it up. So it includes communication, but it's also their involvement in that learning activities. It's the partnership in the decision making, right? The decision making around their child. It's supporting also that homeschool connection. And I'm pretty sure that most teachers would really love parents and caregivers to be more involved in bringing learning into home as well, so that school and home support each other. I think that there's also this interesting idea of that we should be changing our perspective sometimes from exclusively saying parent engagement to maybe also saying caregiver engagement, because many children are being raised with extended family, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and we're missing an opportunity if we don't engage all of the caregivers. Now, Pride, I'd love to hear from you. If you think about
Mhm.
your own journey with your center, and if you think of the other centers that you know, what are the mistakes that you think principals are making when it comes to parent engagement?
Thank you, Helene. I think the biggest mistake that we as leaders, as principals do is not setting clear goals and sharing them with our caregivers and the parents. They need to know, where is the center going? Where are we headed? Why do we do things the way we do them, so that they can also be involved, knowing that at the end of the day, this is the goal, and this is how it's going to affect the child, because the most important thing is the holistic development of the child. So what I did, or what we did with the Pulset team, instead of asking for donations, we wanted to renovate our playground. We sat down with the team and said, what could we do? Then we decided that we're going to host a concert. In the concert, the learners would then show the parents what is it that they do here at school. Then the parents would see that this is what the learners are doing, but they would pay for the entrance fee. And once we received all the funds, we then sat down and gave back the feedback to the parents to say, this is what we have, this is how much we have raised, and we need your support. So instead of going and looking for a professional painter, a professional artist to come and paint the center, we said to the parents, who can do this for us? And then we had volunteers. So we managed to buy all the required resources and the equipment. And the parents then came in, we set a date, and then they came and they helped us to clean the center, take out the lawn, paint it, and then we managed to revamp the play area. So at the end of the day, they got involved, but at the same time, they got an opportunity not to have formal feedback, as in the assessments only, but also to see the beautiful work that their kids are doing at school in terms of them performing and being on stage. And we were blessed to have one of the local radio stations, when they heard about the plea, they gave us one of the DJs to MC the event for free. They DJ'd the event for us for free. The local community also gave us a hall for free, because they knew that we are doing this for the learners. So it was a win-win situation for everyone.
I really like that, but it started with you having a clear vision, a goal.
Mhm.
You had a
True.
great picture in your mind of what your success and your end goal could look like. And that end goal excited everyone. the teachers, the
True,
children, and the parents. And all of us are willing to spend time and energy on something that excites us, right?
true, true.
Okay, so audience, I would now like to hear from you. When it comes to parent engagement, I wonder what is your biggest challenge with parent engagement? So if you look at your phone or your computer right now, look at the screen. I have a poll up with some ideas, and I want you to click on the ones that are true for you. What are the biggest challenges you're facing with parent engagement? Is it you're not sure? How do you even do parent engagement? Or that parents don't even attend your meetings, or that parents are not paying, they're paying late? Maybe you're finding that parents are not even interested in their child's development, or fathers are not getting involved, communication issue, or conflict with parents. If there are other challenges, let us know in the chat, right in the chat. We have two amazing center owners here. We're all together. We're going to tackle some of these challenges today.
Mm.
So look at your phone, click on the ones that are your biggest challenges. I'm going to give you 3 more seconds.
Mm.
Okay, I hope you've voted. Let's see. What are the results? I'm clicking share results. Pride, can you see that on your screen?
I can see the results.
Ladies and gentlemen, can someone in the chat let me know? Okay, I'm seeing the following results. Top voted for is parents don't attend meetings. You scheduling a meeting? They don't come. Okay. Good news for you. We're going to cover workshops and meetings today. Then there's a comment here. 40% of you say late payment, no payment. Okay. You're going to have to stay till the end of the webinar. It's the last topic we cover. We're going to share a great case study with you. There's also 35% of you say that there's a lack of interest in the child's development. It's like the parents disconnected and they're not that interested. And you're also facing communications issues. So, Lebo and Pride, as we talk today, let's see if we can pick up on these things. Attending meetings, building the interest that parents should have in their own child's development, communication issues. Okay. I also see here, Carol says economic situation, exhausted parents. Yep. I almost want to say teachers and principals, also exhausted. Chantal says, child staying with grandparents, they go to school via the taxi, they have no vehicle. So, Chantal, I agree with you. So, we need to think about that's the whole idea of the caregiver, right? It's not always the biological mother or father that's providing the care at home. So, okay, that is parent, learner, and teacher relationship. Rele Bohiche. Sorry if I'm saying your name incorrectly. Parent, learner, teacher relationship. So managing that relationship well. I think we're going to cover a lot of these topics today. Right. Let me close that. Hold on. Close that. Okay, so let's get into parent, or let's call it caregiver engagement tools. We're going to cover 6 tools. And I'm really hoping that at least one of these is going to make your day and help you become very practical, something that you can literally start doing maybe tomorrow. The 6 tools that we're going to be looking at will increase participation, two-way communication, and collaboration. We're going to look at WhatsApp as a communications channel. We're going to look at newsletters and hopefully share some interesting resources that you might not know about. We'll investigate how volunteering can really change the game for you. Number 4, we're going to look at parent meetings and workshops, the yearly calendar, and your learner progress reports, and how you can use that now towards November, December to really bring the year together with a beautiful ending. Okay, let's go. So let's talk a little bit about WhatsApp groups. For most centers, I know that this is the easiest, most effective way that you are managing some of your communications in bulk. But I think that there are some pro tips where you can just level it up to be even more professional, even more professional. So, for example, if you look at your WhatsApp groups right now, ask yourself if the group is named very clearly. Most of us are on many, many groups. If I need to find this group as a parent, can I search by the center name, the age group, the class? What am I looking for? So name your group very clearly and make it look professional by adding that school logo or a beautiful photo of the class or something like that. So not just a random photo from the internet. Make it look good. Secondly, ask yourself, have you invited all of the caregivers, not just the mother? Okay, because there's a network of people supporting the child. So make sure you have invited the father, the extended family, that grandmother or grandfather, the relevant people who are responsible for the child beyond just what's happening at the center. I think when it comes to writing the messages, always have to ask yourself if you've covered the five witches in the hut. That's what I call it. Five W's and a H. What, where, when, why, and who, and finally how. The five W's and the H. So when you're sending a message out about a raffle, the career day, a Valentine's event, the new curriculum theme that you're covering, check that your message covers all the information that the person needs to make a decision. And then the one thing that I'm seeing most people do now with their WhatsApp groups is they're making them admin only. So this prevents parents from communicating and talking about lots of other things on the group. So your WhatsApp group is for you to send outbound messages to all of the parents. They can all get it on the group, and you can see that they got it. If people want to speak to you, they can WhatsApp you directly. So this just helps to prevent all that fluffy mess that can happen, the froth that can happen when parents start talking back and forth to each other. And I'm going to tell you, we're going to share another tip shortly that's not a WhatsApp group, but also WhatsApp. So hold on for that. Many centers these days are also considering using a business phone number for their WhatsApp group. So rather than someone's private number. So if you can do that, I think it helps you and your sanity. That the group is open, it's on a WhatsApp group number, that's the center's WhatsApp number. And if you are not there, there are other teachers that also have access to that number. And that means you can delegate to your trusted other teachers to help you see, message, and manage the messages that are coming on the WhatsApp groups. I'd love to hear from the ladies if they do the same. But the preschool where my child is, that works very, very well. So I can message the school at any time, and they've changed their number to a WhatsApp business account. So they set up automatic replies. I can send a message 5 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock at night. I get an immediate message back that says, "Hi, this is our school. We're open from this time to this time," and that's when we will respond to your messages. Otherwise, you will never sleep. You will be getting messages from your parents any time of the day. But obviously set some goals, like you want to make sure you're replying to all the parents that have sent a message on that day. Okay. Other good tips is the do not tips is things like not sharing unverified news. You know, when those messages start going around, measles has broken out and everybody's freaking out about measles or lice. Make sure you are verifying information, verifying news before you share that on groups, and address individual parent or child matters directly, not on the group. Okay. Also, never share photos or videos that you don't have permission for, and don't post personal information on your groups. So those are some top tips. I'm hoping they can help you. But Pride shared an interesting story with me. Pride, you used to have WhatsApp groups. I think you're now using something different. Tell us more.
Yeah, I used to have a WhatsApp group for parents, but then they could see each other's contact numbers, and then some parents would contact the other parent, and they start having their own little discussions and meetings. Some would bother them. You see a nice profile picture, then you want to say hi, how are you doing? And then it ends up getting into something that is not meant when we create the WhatsApp group. So now I am using a WhatsApp broadcast group, which is a one-way messaging feature that allows you to send one message to all the parents, the caregivers, and everyone that is on the school's network. So the members cannot see each other's contact numbers. They cannot see anyone's response. I get an opportunity to have one-on-one discussions with the parents when they have complaints or they've got something that they need to discuss. And then any other general information, updates, announcements, I do that. And the nice thing about WhatsApp broadcast is that when it comes to you, it feels like it's specially designed for you alone, because it would say, dear parent, mother, father, and then it's a message directed to you. And I get to see who has received the messages and who has not received the messages, who has seen and read the messages. That way I get to manage the school better.
Mm, mm. I see here, Maleshni Naidu says, I use broadcast as parents have havoc on open chat. I can only imagine. Dina says she likes it. And so thanks. I think that's a great tip. And I like what you were saying about the fact that broadcast, as a parent, I'm getting the message from Pride. It feels personal. I can't avoid a direct message to me. I can avoid a message in a group, but a message to
Yeah.
me, I have to respond to. That's a great tip. So, a great way to use, whether it's your broadcast or your WhatsApps, rather than only sending messages about remember this, remember that, you should do this, you should do that. You can also use your broadcast and your WhatsApp groups to start sharing resources and information about learning, to get parents to realize that learning does not start in grade one. Learning starts from day one. That's when it starts. So think about how you're using your communication, not only to always ask for things, but to share, inspire, engage parents. Here are some examples of resources that you could share on your groups, like this amazing alphabet poster or the milestones that parents should be expecting for their babies, or this one called Top 10 Parenting Tips. And don't worry, you don't need to spend your whole weekend looking for these, because Grow ECD has prepared a lot of resources like this for you that you can download for free from our resource center. Okay, so in the app and on our website, we have an ECD resource center. Over 450 resources are on there, from business resources, templates, policies, procedures. There are some great parenting tools, classroom posters. You can download this and many more. And then you can plan once a month to share something with center owners. And another great place where you can find these resources is on our WhatsApp channel. If you haven't joined the Grow ECD WhatsApp channel, or are following us on Facebook, the WhatsApp channel is a great place for you to also see great little tools. Just this week, we shared a little poster, what kids learn when they're blowing bubbles, or why it's important for a child to practice with little scissors and fine motor skills. Okay, so follow us on WhatsApp and also download those resources. The WhatsApp channel link is in the chat right now. Let's go and talk about another great resource, a parent newsletter. Now, when I say parent newsletter, some of you are getting cold chills. You are seeing yourself there on a Sunday evening while other people are having a nap. You are busy writing a newsletter and you're thinking, oh, it's hard work. Please, no need to do that. We have got you covered. So Grow ECD has created a parent newsletter for every 2 weeks of the school year. And each one is linked to a theme in the curriculum. For example, transport, occupations, insects, habits, all those different themes. So if you're following the Grow ECD curriculum, which is for free in the app, you can download a parent bulletin or a parent newsletter that's linked to that. And Pride was telling me that she uses this newsletter in quite an interesting way. She doesn't just, forward it to her parents. Pride, how are you using the newsletter?
Okay, so every Friday. So the newsletter, the theme goes for 2 weeks, right? For example, the theme for this week is farm animals. Next week, it's going to be fruits and vegetables. So by Friday, I would send out the newsletter to the parents via the WhatsApp broadcast. And then in the newsletter, there are activities that they can do, the parent and the learner together, DIY projects that they can do together. And they are linked to the theme. So what I do, I send it out to the parents and give them a due date to say the instruction is that for fruits and vegetables, create a 3D vegetable, and the learners on Monday morning, they must submit it before we start at 8 o'clock. And then the learners, we also involve them. We tell them when you get home, make sure by Monday you come with your fruit garden or whatever it is that the newsletter says that they must do. So the newsletter, we use it as an engagement resource for the parents to learn what is it that the learners will be doing the following 2 weeks and how they can get involved. It also involves beautiful rhymes that they can do together that you can download, whether on YouTube and also on the Grow ECD, the Parents Lion app. So we also create competitions to say we're going to select 10 of the best projects, and we've got a wall of fame. When you enter the center, your project will be displayed there for everyone to see your beautiful art creativity. At the end of the year, we do recognition for the parents. If the parent has been consistently submitting the projects, we recognize them and we reward them. So it's small rewards that sometimes don't even require money, like a star for the learner. So even the learner will push the parent to say, Mommy, I need to learn the rhyme. I need to know the rhyme. By Monday morning, I have to know. And when they come through in the morning, they come through, they are dancing, they are singing the rhyme already. So it sets a beautiful positive tone for the rest of the 2 weeks because of the newsletter. So we're very grateful for Grow. I don't have to think anything out loud or even be creative. It's there and the parents can easily access it to also for free.
I think that's a great idea, and it starts to connect with that question around how do I help parents engage with the learning journey that the child is on, and it almost also helps them start create those practices that once you enter school and you will have projects there, or you're going to learn an oral. It helps
Mm-hmm.
children get confident with that idea that I can easily do homework. Homework is not
Mm.
homework is something I can be confident in. It really prepares them for later. Okay.
And it's fun.
Yeah, I see. Thank you, Pretty. I see that you've made a comment here in the chat that you have the app, but you're struggling to log in. Okay, so we will be happy to help you. We have a help desk that's available during office hours, and Wendy, who works at the help desk, is available to you on a WhatsApp call, on an email. You can call her, WhatsApp her, and she will help you with logging in. When you get to your app in the login in the section that says log in, check there's a button for forgot password. Okay, so you can reset your own password and then you can log back in. But if that doesn't work, feel free to reach out to us. Now, let's talk about something very interesting. So, Lebo, you really blew my mind when we discussed this. This is not something I've ever thought of when it comes to parent engagement, and that is volunteering. I think this is kind of a special one. While Lebo explains it to us, I'll share the photos in the background that she's shared. Lebo, how does volunteering work at Graceland?
I hope I can. Are you able to see me now?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So we have a wing of volunteers, but we've actually involved parents. So we have a soup kitchen that we run monthly. Even the food that we actually cook are not coming from Graceland. So parents will then donate those that can be able to avail themselves to come through on that particular day when we're going to serve soup. It differs. On other months, it could be samp and chicken. Other months it could be soup, but predominantly now that it was winter, we would serve soup because it was cold in the morning. So then what we also requested were old clothes that one can still wear, because some of the people that we were serving that are homeless, you find that it's winter and somebody does not have a decent jersey. And the remainder of the clothes, we've then looked for a charity home where we can be able to donate the clothes as well. So we also do sanitary pads that we would donate to girls that are in sports. So that is also where it's parent-led. So it's the initiative from the school, but we've since involved the parents. Now the parents are overtaking us because they just want to come and give their time, give their resources. So it's just like a very nice community of Graceland where we are able to also extend something outside of just wanting school fees and them attending meetings, but then in you making them understand the vision, they are able to have a buy-in. So it becomes easier for them to do other things because they understand that this is not just about money, but there is something greater than just you having a center.
It gives you such a bigger picture, and it really reminds me of that this a school is at the center of a community. I think if families are community, then I think church and school is at the center of that, and it's a space for us to connect and to serve. So that really is special. And like I mentioned, it's something I've never thought of before. But the few times that I've been able to volunteer, I felt like I wasn't giving the gift. I was receiving the gift because the support that I could give made me feel special. And that's an amazing gift that you can give to parents and caregivers is purpose and feeling that they can contribute and add value. I'd love to know from any of you in the chat if you have soup kitchens, volunteer outreach activities at your center. Maybe you have other ideas also to share. We'd love to hear from you. We are making such good progress. We are covering some incredible ideas and tips here. Ooh, let's get to the one that most people voted for. 40% of you said those parents, they don't come to the meetings. Let's talk about parent meetings and parent workshops. So some of you are worried that if you invite your parents over, either they won't come, or if they come, maybe they'll just moan and complain. Yes, I know that that's what you're thinking. So both ladies are going to tell us more about their experience. Pride, let's maybe start with you. How do you manage and prepare for your parent workshops, parent meetings? What do you do?
Okay, firstly, when we send out invitations, we are very clear. We send out the agenda, we send out the previous meetings or minutes or recordings that took place. We only host two major meetings or training sessions for the parents, and then we've got small sub meetings that we host for each class because we quite a big school. So with our meetings, it is very clear from the beginning that it's not a session for parents to bring through complaints because we cover things that are general and affect the entire school and all the learners. So from the word go, they know the complaints procedure, and I make sure that I attend to each and every complaint and make sure by the time we meet with the other parents, all the issues have been addressed. If it's something that needs the greater community, then I will do that. So, for example, we had major issues with parents experiencing trouble with paying school fees. I saw that most of the principals are going through that also. So I invited in one of our meetings a financial institution where they brought in a financial advisor, and they brought in the tools and the resources where they did a budgeting workshop for the parents, and they gave us practical tools on how to handle the money that we are having. If you are unemployed, if you're running a small business, what are the available avenues? And us together as parents, we decided we're going to support from the parents that we have. So if you're running a small business, you're selling cakes or cookies, we advertise for you, and then we make sure that we order and place orders from the parents from our center. So after that budgeting exercise, then we had a follow-up then to check, is it working? So that was a great way to make sure that the parents, when you invite them the next time, they know that it's not just a meeting for them to sit and listen to you, but we invite healthcare practitioners. We introduced karate at our school. We invited the leaders and the senseis to come and demonstrate to the parents, this is what the learners will be doing. If you want to do swimming, invite those companies to come and share information. So it's an information sharing session, and we engage, we give parents an opportunity also to share ideas. We've got a small box where if a person has got ideas, maybe they're afraid to speak in the meeting, they can just write it down and put it inside the box, and we've got a committee that will look at those ideas or questions or queries afterwards. So we make it to be fun, to be interesting, to be exciting, and for parents to get something from that session, not just talking about the center, but how it can benefit them also, the greater community, but most importantly, how is that going to benefit the learner, the child?
So I heard two good points there, which was it's not just about the center. You're actually hosting a topic that as a parent, I'm interested in the topic. I'm definitely interested in my budget and managing my money better. Or I'm definitely interested in health and my wellness and maybe getting some free clinic services. So then you're adding on your parent meeting and your center agenda to that. So that's a very good tip there. And just remind me prior to how many did you say you were hosting? How often were you hosting them? You were saying one big meeting and then smaller meetings. Just explain again when you do that and the smaller ones.
Okay, the first meeting takes place in February after the whole enrollment and parents have settled and all of that. And then we host another one after winter. So during the third term, we host it. But
Okay.
in between, we host quarterly sessions with the parents or the caregivers, even the guardians, per class. Then we get to, the teacher is there, we get to give them one-on-one feedback sessions, and the kids are also attending. So we show them this is what we have done, this is how your child is progressing. We give them the file to show them these are the activities that your child has been doing here at school. So it's very it gives us more positive results to have those smaller ones because they're much easier to handle. But then the bigger ones where we host workshops and invite everybody else, that mainly is for planning, setting up the goals for the year and coming back and checking, are we still on track? And if maybe there's an emergency, for instance, the concert that I was talking about, I would then give them enough time to say on such and such a date, please avail yourself. We will be discussing or we will be planning the concert for the learners. So they know I come there prepared. We make sure an hour before the meeting starts, we are there as the team. We are prepared. The printouts are there. And most importantly, we respect their time. If we say the meeting is going to take an hour, we make sure it takes an hour because people have other things that they must do. So when you have set that kind of tone to say, we are professional, we respect your time, we value your time, and this is what we're giving back to you. Whenever I host the sessions, there will be 99% attendance. If you cannot attend, you are allowed to send somebody to represent you, as long as it's an adult who understands and knows what is happening at the center.
Amazing. I think that's very, very interesting. And Lebo, you're also doing some very interesting parent workshops where you're helping parents really get to grips with what it is that their child is learning at the center. Tell us some more about your workshops.
Um, it's similar to what Pride would have later in the year. So because of the capacity, and in the past we would invite them, then we'd actually have minimal people that would come through. So then we would actually host a parents workshop using the Grow Kit, our famous Grow Kits. So that works very, very well. But before we can even introduce them to what we really do in class. We would tackle the business of the day where we talk about the year plan, because on that particular day, I would have everything print out. So we'll tackle the year plan so that they are aware of the activities that will be happening. And then we discuss that in depth and other things that will matters that will be arising as we are having the meeting. But I normally have the RR first, which we do school readiness meeting, and then we also do play-based learning using the kit. Thereafter, all the age groups will have the same day though. Like we'd have something like 1 hour, 30 minutes with the first group, 1 hour, 30 minutes with the second group, so that we don't combine the two. Because I just over time sort of like figured that the language is not the same. When it's school readiness, there's anxiety around the particular space where the parents are worried and others are not sure if the age, are they eligible for them to go to school. So we discuss those fears in depth, and we also make them aware that it's a different ball game, and the transition, it's important that they are actually involved from the beginning of the year, and we hold their hands. And with the other ones, it's more fun. We use the kids and we play, and we've held, I think, for the past 2 years, and they're actually, for new parents, that even gives them peace, because they understand that it's not just about the kids coming to the center, eating, wiping their faces and going home. We are actually teaching them, and every Friday we package homework, and Monday it's quite serious. Everybody knows that we need to submit our homework, and we also give stars to those that actually went over and above in terms of what was required from whatever project that they needed to do over the weekend.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I just say, Pride and Label is like my new ECD crush. You ladies are amazing. You run such professional businesses, but it also sounds like you are having fun. You're building a culture of excellence, and you're building a culture of we take our work seriously, but we have enjoyment while we're doing it, and it's really wonderful to see. I see in the chat, Tabisile says suggestion box. Great idea. I love that. Musa says she also likes that, especially for those who might not be comfortable speaking in public. Colette, so you're asking if we have practitioner training. So Grow ECD does not provide any qualifications. So we're not a qualifications organization. Best to speak to your college or your TVET. We provide more practical, what we would call professional, continuous professional development training. But if you have teachers, perhaps what often happens is you have teachers, they want to learn more, they want to develop professionally, but if you don't have assistants who can take their place while they go to study, you stuck. So we have on the app, for the center owner and for the teacher, on the teacher app, we have data-free online training, which includes education training, business training, and life skills training. And the one called the Teacher Development Program has got 12 modules. It covers everything from professional expectations, gross motor, math literacy, all those different topics. I could highly recommend that you start there. Okay. Then there's someone who, okay, app support. If you're struggling to log in with the app, we've explained that you can contact the help desk. Sindisa, that's a great question. Pride, why don't you tell us, do you have refreshments during your parent meeting? Our parent attendance is high if we have refreshments available. It's very low if we don't have refreshments available. What do you do, Pride?
Okay, as I previously indicated, the one where there was budgeting involved, the financial company covered the payment for the venue and the refreshments. So they also provided lunch for the parents. But then we do have parents who would voluntarily say, I would bring a bottle of shoes, and this one would say, I'm a baker because you guys have been supporting me. I will bring two 20-liter buckets of scones. So we do provide refreshments. That is the culture. I think it's also about Ubuntu, also to be hosting people at your venue, even if it's just water and juice. I think it's something that it depends on the individual. I provide refreshments whenever, even if you come to visit just for 30 minutes, we offer you tea, coffee. So yes, we do provide refreshments.
Yeah, and you, Level, what do you do?
Yes, we do. The workshops normally happens when it's nice and warm. So we would actually do your watermelon, and I mean, think about it, it's just once a year. Just
Yeah.
cover that
Yeah.
expense, because I mean, as Africans, we know that we must visit somebody's house, we must eat. So I think that's the norm. So yeah,
Yeah.
we order water prior to the meeting, and also have fruits normally.
Yeah. Then Dina Gapte says, I love the idea of presenting parent workshops, more topics. So, Dina, this one's for you. In our app, we have, when I explained the training section, if you go to the My Training section, there's a training module called Hosting a Parent Reading and Literacy Workshop. So this is a great module. You can walk through it step by step that it explains how would you host a parent workshop. You can download your own facilitator guide, and it explains how do you host a workshop all around the topic of reading and literacy, and like reading at home, and why it's about stories and the parents must read books, but also about having conversations with your child. So that's a great topic that you could start with, and you and your administrator or your teachers can maybe go through this and host your own workshop together on reading and literacy. I think many parents know that this is an aspect that every single child in South Africa needs more help with. So it's a good place to start. And you could literally go to the library and get many books, show them. You could invite someone from the library to come and explain how does the library work, because parents mustn't give you excuses that they can't get books. I can't afford any books, but I get many from the library. So think about your other partners, NGO partners, maybe in your community, you could invite them. Okay. So that's a great one for parent meetings. Then I also saw in the chat, someone was saying, where's a yearly calendar? Come now, ladies, where's a template for this? And I can tell you, we have a great template for you. On the right-hand side, you see a screenshot. This is a one-page summary of the themes for the year. I think this is the type of thing you want to send to parents in January at the beginning of the year. They can see all the themes that their child will be covering. Yes, we are not just childminders. We are not wiping noses. That is not our only jobs. We are actually following these amazing themes, and this is what your child will be learning. So that's a one-pager you could send to parents. You could print it or even just WhatsApp or email it. And then on the left-hand side, you're seeing a page of our year calendar. This is also something that you can download from the Resource Center. Currently, it's for 2025, and there's a page for each month. Now, many centers, what I see they do is they print out all 12 pages, and it's available in a very central place, put up all 12 months of the year, and they mark graduation day, special school closure day, teachers' birthdays, learners' birthdays, outings, events, grandparent day. You can mark and plan all of that. We have also marked for you already on the calendar all the themes and the special days that you should know about. Okay. Now, I'd love to tell you a little bit about the Lion app. Maybe I must not assume that you know the different apps. Let me just explain very quickly. Grow ECD has 3 apps. The giraffe app is for the center owner. So if you think of a giraffe, it has a tall neck. It is a big animal. Not even a lion will take down a giraffe. It is a big, big, strong animal. And because of its tall neck, it can see everything happening on the savannah. It can see. You are the principal, the giraffe. You want to be able to see everything of your ECD center. Learner information, teacher information, finances, payments. You want to see and manage everything. And you don't want the lion to take you down. So the giraffe app is for the center owner. It gives you access to everything. The next app is the meerkat app. That's for your teachers. So your teachers are meerkats. They can see certain things from the app, which is only their learners in their class. They can conduct, for example, the learner assessment for each of the age groups. They can go online and do that online training I was telling you about, the data-free online training. They can download resources, and so it's for their professional development. That's what they can see. They cannot see your finances of your business, for example. They cannot see information of other staff members, for example. So that's the Meerkat app. And then Lion is for the parents. So as a parent, I can see my child's information. Let me show you here, for example. In the Lion app, I can see the center's information, the address, principals, teachers, and your operating hours. Also your school calendar. You could put in here, for example, when you're closing in December and those types of dates. Then in the section about my child, I can view my child's attendance record. So if you're using the Giraffe and Meerkat apps to track daily attendance, I can see the attendance register. I can view payments. I can view my child's assessment progress, and I can view the parent communication. As the giraffe, you are still in control. You can decide if the parent can see that or not. So if you're not maybe using our giraffe app to track fees, for example, you can switch that off. Or you can decide, no, I don't want parents to see that. Or I only want parents to see their child's assessment results, their progress report. So we'll tell you a bit more about that in a second. So the Lion app is very helpful for that. And I think one of the great tools in there is that Giraffe and Meerkat, the principal and the teacher, can use our professional learner assessment and progress reports to assess children based on their age group. So you can assess each child on all the developmental areas, and you can send that results as a report to parents. I think it looks very professional. Pride, do you use that? Do you use the learner assessment reports?
Yes, we do that for every quarter. So even
Okay.
for the learners that are under 2 years of age, I see now that we do have an assessment development report available. So you can easily print it out because you can't do that one online. So it's a great tool to use and straightforward, very easy to understand. Even the parents find it very useful and helpful.
Hmm. And Lebo, when do you do learner assessments? I mean, it doesn't have to be every quarter. What do you do?
We would do the normal one that we would send out, I think May, and then again in
Mhm.
October. But in between,
Yeah.
we'll actually do like assessments. But I think what this is quite an interesting one because of where we are. We are in the 4IR and everybody's busy and
Yeah.
everybody's on their phone. So they have an address and, and a street name there. So just sending a PDF that actually tells you about the progress of your child, that one I find it's just mind blowing because you'd even find other parents taking a screenshot, having it on their status just to say this is how progressive our center, they are not just, giving us hard copies but over and above that, we'll still have those one-on-ones to be able to discuss in detail in terms of the child's performance. But just by the click of a button, sending that to a parent, it's so convenient. So yes, we do use it.
Amazing. If any of you are interested in how to do a learner assessment, we will host a webinar on that in October. It'll be coming up very soon. Okay. Let's talk quickly also. I see we're running out of time. There's so much to talk about, and it's an exciting topic, but I want us to stop here for a second when it comes to father involvement. Lebo, maybe just tell me a little bit about your experience with father involvement specifically.
Um, Normally, in the beginning of the year, when we do our enrollments, you'd find that section, a lot of mothers would omit it. Um, However, on those ones that would get to have those particular details, even when I send information, I don't just send to that one parent, but I send to both because many a times we'd find that they are co-parenting. In between, you become a mediator, but it's still okay because it's important for the father to also know and get involved. Sometime in, I think, the month of Father's Month, we
Mhm.
also had to have a Father's Appreciation. So we called it Father's Appreciation Day because we just wanted them to come and not even talk about their child's progress, but just to acknowledge the hard work that I think as a society, we tend to turn a blind eye, but we just see them as just like a machine that does money, that must pay school fees, that must pay activities and all of that. So I think from our side, it was just a moment to say, you can just breathe. We just want you to come to Graceland and sit and relax and just be appreciated. So I think even if it could be 5, 10 fathers, maybe starting as a suggestion to some centers, it's better because then over time it will gain momentum. And when you have men involved in any project, like Pride was saying, we have painters, we have people that can cook, if that are chefs. So you won't struggle because somebody will be like, no, I saw there's a plug there that I need to just, no, let me get a screwdriver. I mean, with women, it's different. We want to come and, have our feet massaged and all of that. So yeah, we need to involve fathers. And just lastly, the performance of a child that has a father involved, you would not even really price it with anything. So you'd see the confidence that comes with a child that has a father that is involved, not present, but involved. And that child, they thrive in terms of their academics.
That's incredible. Grow ECD loves to work with Heartlines. Their Heartlines has a special program called Fathers Matter. If this is a topic that's close to your heart, please reach out to Heartlines for a detailed ECD toolkit on improving father involvement at your center. We do also have this little one-pager do's and don'ts, some tips to turn your center into a father-friendly ECD center, which you can download from our resource center. But there's also a specific training module that can equip you to bring this to life. It really it changes the hearts of people. It changes the hearts of fathers. And when fathers have their dignity restored, it absolutely supports their children's development. It's all interconnected. Ladies and gentlemen, we're heading to the end of the webinar, but we still need to deal with that question that you had at the beginning. The parents were not paying, or they're paying late. So I'm not going to go into too much into dealing with the complaints, but I want Pride to tell her story because she was struggling with something similar. Tell us, Pride.
Okay, I was struggling to, I think my first 2 years, the November and December school fees, I did not receive at all. So I had two Black Christmases that had me to force me to think and think deep and hard. So after attending the Grow Accelerator course, the first cohort, the module was how to run a sustainable center. They taught us about how to do a break even, meaning that how much does it cost for me to run the center per learner. That determines the amount or the school fees that I'm going to charge. So this is what we did for the year 2025. We calculated the amount times 12. We included the end year awards and graduation fee. We included the trips, that the educational excursions, and then we divided the amount by 10 months. So what happens from January, the parents already start paying for November and December and the end year function. So the end of September, which is next month, that is the last payment that they will be making, which covers everything for the whole year. And there's a clause that I put in the contract to say there is no refund. So if you decide to take your child out in May, don't come back and say, but I've already paid for November and December. So that, and also if you miss or skip a month, or if you skip a payment, there is a penalty that is charged when you come back and pay. So for a parent to think, if I want to jump ship or I don't want to pay, they know that it's already going to be a loss. So we make things very easy for the parents to say, pay upfront. We help you do your budgeting by involving professionals. And also November and December, it's your time to relax and think about the festive season. And we also cover half of January. So January, when they return, they only pay half the school fees. It doesn't have to be the whole amount. So I know that I've covered everything that I need to cover for the center, but at the same time, the parents' lives are made easy. So this year, we've had 100% attendance back from the parents after the June school holidays, because that was the period that they ran away. And now they've already covered the school fees for November and December. And yeah, I am no longer stressing about finances.
I think this could be a new model for all of us to potentially implement. I mean, if you do your planning now, you do your budgeting for next year, and I like what you're saying, include the things that you normally do fundraisers for, the raffle and the year-end function and the graduation, all those extra things that you already know now. Oh, you're going to struggle to get all the parents to pay. You take all the expenses, you divide it by, did you say 10?
Yeah,
Divided by
yes.
10. So parents will basically be paying school fees for 10 months of the year. They get November and December for free, basically. And I think what you're also doing is people are not taking their children out in June, July, trying to not pay. And it actually harms the child because they're missing a crucial month of early learning. So I really like this idea. I'd love to hear from the rest of you what you think. But Brian, I'm glad that that's working for you and that the accelerator has been helping you in that way. For those of you who are interested in the accelerator, I'll tell you a little bit more about that now. Let me show you. Um, Now the chat's gone very quiet. I want to know from the rest of you, what do you think of that idea? Okay, I hope you have been learning a lot. I want to know, what is the one thing that you are going to do this month to improve your parent engagement? We have shared so many tips, so many ideas. Lebo and Pride have shared their wisdom. Look at your screen right now. We are hosting a poll, and I want you to select the one thing that you think you can do and or prepare this month to improve your parent engagement. Also, feel free to use the chat and let us know, what did you learn and what are you going to do? People are voting for the Lion app. They're voting parent workshop. Let's see what else they're saying. Giving you a few more seconds. And 2 more seconds. Okay, 50 people have already voted. I am going to close the poll now and share the results with you. Almost 30% of you say that you would like to share an educational resource with a parent. I think that's such a great place to start. You are also saying you're very excited about hosting a parent meeting or a workshop. And let's face it, this last term coming up, it's the perfect, or the next few months is the perfect time to do it. September, October. Plan and host that workshop. Absolutely a great idea to do it. And maybe in that workshop, you even want to start discussing 2026, the goals for your center, some changes you'll be making, the school fees, but make sure it still is exciting for the parents, that it's something that they want to learn. 18% of you say you're going to be using the Lion app to share some updates and progress. And 11% of say you want to use the newsletter, the parent bulletin, and I'm glad to see that you also will be adding your fathers to the communications channels. Thank you very much. I want to briefly show you this. You can take a quick screenshot if you want, or scan the QR code to join our ECD WhatsApp channel. And then the ECD Small Business Accelerator, which she was mentioning, I wanted to show you that this is coming up soon in Midrand, Durban, Cape Town, and Gqeberha. It's only 600 Rand per person. It's 6 days of training, usually on a Friday. And it really is your boot camp where you're going to learn how to run your preschool with a business mindset. And finally, the thing that I also want you to take a screenshot of is the app support help desk number. So screenshot that so that you can reach out to us. Ladies, final thoughts. Pride, final thoughts from your side.
Grow ECD has been such a great resource for me. It has helped me to move from when I started, I had only 2 learners. And then after doing the accelerator course, my learners went from 2 to, okay, I'm not going to say the number, but they have gone up, I think about 300%. So we're doing well now. I'm running my preschool like a business. Still, the heart is for the children. And all the best to all the other ECD centers. You can never go wrong if you join Grow ECD. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Pride. And Lebo, any final words of wisdom when it comes to parent engagement or running your ECD center?
I think there's a 5 days, the boot camp. I think for anyone that has never been exposed themselves to it, that's a starting point. Because when you leave that place, you leave motivated. Because this journey can be so lonely, and you need a community of people that can be able to track your milestone with them and celebrate, your little wins along the way. And for me, being in a part of a community of Grow has made me to grow as a person in terms of how I look at my business. Because I think many a times we tend to say it's an NPO, then you have the mentality of saying it's a nonprofit, therefore you'll just do as you please. But then Grow helps and forces you to account. So you're not accounting only to maybe somebody that helps you with your finances, but even to parents, even to those kids that you're looking after. So the boot camp, the 5 days, ladies, gents, do yourself a huge favor and give yourself a gift for 2025 and be part of the upcoming one.
Amazing. Thank you very much for spending your time and energy with us. We really appreciate it. I also appreciate all of you who've joined and made the investment in your center to learn more, to share your feedback. We really appreciate it. May your parents love you. May your parents support you and not just give you Christmas gifts, but may they pay you their school fees. That really is my hope for you. End of the year strong, keep focused, and we look forward to seeing you at our next webinar, which is going to be all about learner assessments and progress reports. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye.